All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, Connor on Chain. So, I want to cover a few things today in the market because we got yet another nuke across the board for every single narrative, every single project. Outside of this new, the new shiny object narrative right now, we got these AI meme coins. So, I want to cover this a little bit, but then just jump into a few things here. With Bitcoin, like I've said before in my previous videos, guys, I'm still very bullish on everything from this chart momentum to macro factors going into the next few months here. This is why I continuously say I am very much prepared for dips, ups and downs. I really do not care much about price action in the short term in this range. As I do believe at some point, whether price dumps here, goes up, I know for a fact we are going a lot higher. And, I say that nothing in crypto is guaranteed. I just know in my gut, I'm trusting my gut more than anything. And the data that's been presented just from, again, macro factors and how the chart looks with, a bunch of indicators, things like that. In my opinion, I think it looks very bullish. And I will continue to add on dips. So that's what I'm focusing on with Bitcoin. I know a lot of people are very fed up with this price action, including myself. Like I can't even lie. When we're down only sideways for 8 months, it's going to get to your head, especially if you have a large sum of money in cryptocurrency. Seeing your bags just go down only, especially if you're holding, through all this, it is incredibly difficult, like mentally. But again, based on previous cycles though, it looks like we should be at a point where we're going to start seeing potential upside. But the thing is that I want to, I guess highlight about this stuff, guys, is again, we are seeing Bitcoin range, range in this entire area from mid 50s to high 60s, right? But when we look at a lot of altcoins, let me pull up when we look at altcoins, whether AI coins, meme coins, I'm going to pull those two narratives up specifically because those are where I'm most invested right now. We'll pull up GraphLink. This is a great token as an example. Same with BitTensor because they're showing clear strength in the market, even though, again, the market is still kind of dumping. But we got Bitcoin kind of ranging in this huge area, right? But we got altcoins. I'm going to draw this for a second. We have altcoins also basically ranging in this same, idea of a range for GraphLink. GraphLink is basically ranging in this general area in between, 5 cents to what, 10 to 15 cents if you want to call it a major high time frame range. It's somewhat ranging, I'm not trying to make it perfect. You could draw it like this. Let's just say in between 5 to 15 cents, right? The thing that I am personally waiting on, I'm playing the long-term game with every single coin, is once we are out of this, BS sideways downwards range, once we start really breaking structure and we actually start to see Bitcoin hit, new all-time highs, go into price discovery, hit 75, 80K, maybe 85, $90,000, right? This is going to be when all these altcoins that we're looking at here, they are all going to be finally coming out of this range without a doubt in my mind. So it's like, you can look at it on the next leg up. Let's say it goes to 40 cents, 50 cents from here. If all AI coins end up doing a 2, 3, 4x at a minimum, just from when, Bitcoin decides to break out and we hit new highs. It's like we're going to be moving up into a whole nother, floor of where these altcoins are going to sit. But right now we are still sitting at this low point. But I'm expecting when we start to see a ton of upside, again, whether it's in a week, whether it's in a month, I'm just forever bullish on this market going up from here. But once we see a real breakout, again, if you're in the right coins, which I like to bring up a lot of great coins in the channel, they're meme coins, AI coins right now. You can buy it. It doesn't really, I want to say it doesn't matter. It does matter. I'm very specific about entries and stuff as well, but in the grand scheme of things, if you are playing crypto for the long-term game and you are playing the cycle, if you just get in at a generally decent area and you are patient, you let the market take itself up, this becomes, the old floor for price. Because once we start to see more retail flow in, a lot more attention to Bitcoin, and a lot of institutions and the news, they start to throw out massive crypto campaigns, to just target the most random people left and right to just start paying attention to Ethereum, Bitcoin, start flooding everyone's faces with crypto, which I guarantee they're going to do. We're going to see altcoins end up starting another move, and then they're going to, start consolidating at another range. This is what I'm waiting for, short-term price action in everything from memes and AI. I'm just trying to get in at good levels and just be patient. That is literally how, anything here, it's the same idea that happened here. Even though, yes, it's dipped heavily, but down here, guys, was, the lows of the market, right? What ended up happening is when Bitcoin's at 20K, 30K, right? Most alts are what, down here? What did Bitcoin do when it basically doubled? Everything ended up pulling a 5, 10, 20, 30x. And obviously, yes, it didn't hold at this level, but if you still got in from the lows, a lot of coins that have a lot of strength right now, you'd still be up a good amount. Yes, a lot of coins have, retraced almost all of their gains from back here, which is just very unfortunate that has been this market, at least this bull run so far, which is insane. But I expect something very similar to happen with a lot of altcoins. Same thing, if you're just DCAing into very good projects that you have a lot of conviction in, and you're just patient with it, it's not like, again, I can't say that we can't top out here, but in my mind, I don't think that we've topped out this cycle. We still had the halving back in April. It's been about, 6-7 months now. I do expect still within the next 6 to 12 months, we're basically betting on the fact that Bitcoin is going to be a lot higher in 6 to 12 months versus is Bitcoin going to just still be consolidating or lower than it is? Because if we look at previous bull runs, similar time frame, what has happened in every single bull run? This kind of time frame within the next span of 6 to 12 months, from around 6 to 7 months after the halving, we saw a lot of upside with everything, right? And again, history doesn't always fully repeat itself, but, it rhymes, right? It usually is somewhat similar. And this is potentially where we could be in this market. Somewhere like here, somewhere here. Just waiting for that, that beginning of a huge leg. Do I think we're going to pull some shit like this? Probably not. I genuinely don't think we're going to go too far past 100K by the end of this cycle, to be completely honest with everyone. I don't know. It's very hard to know, but if I'm wrong, then let me be wrong. I'd love to see Bitcoin, absolutely crush it, but I just think we do play out, go a little bit higher from here. But outside of that, I guess I'm just rambling about Bitcoin and altcoins. This is what I mean though about memes and alts. I just think we're at this floor level here where Bitcoin's around 55, 65. But once we're at 80K, 90K for Bitcoin, the entire floor for every altcoin is also going to do another 2, 3, 4x. So if you're just getting into top tier coins, having that conviction to not just dump and sell at the first sign of a red candle, and continue to stack really good coins, in my opinion, the odds are going to be in your favor going forward. From here. Yes, it's very high risk. I'm not a financial advisor, guys. This is personally what I've been doing. I have a lot of different positions open, mainly in meme coins. Most of my portfolio is literally meme coins, at least 70, 80, upwards of 90%, probably around 80 something percent is in meme coins right now. And I just have a ton of conviction in a lot of these, cult communities, because these are people that are just, they're not trying to sell. They're diamond handing this stuff. I have more conviction in a lot of meme coins than almost any other narrative going forward, But like I said, across all narratives, it's going to be the same thing. It's just, we're all just waiting for this breakup to start really running again. But that's why I just think stacking conviction and just being patient is going to be probably the best thing you can do. I would not be rotating into new narratives left and right, unless you're just playing with a very small portion of your portfolio to then mess around with those. By all means, absolutely do it. But, like if you're rotating, like your main make it bags for the cycle to throw into GOAT at 600 million, yes, you might get lucky, but that is probably one of the worst possible things that you can do is, just getting greedy in the short term because you just want to try to make quicker gains. Telling you long term, it will not pan out for you. Unless you are just using a small percent of your portfolio and you know what you were doing, taking the risk of aping the top of certain shit, that's my advice for anyone jumping into a lot of this stuff. Advise many people on Mudang, holding that thing and expecting it to just long-term go up only. New hype launches never do that. They will never go up only. It looks like it wants to, right? It's going to $1 billion, it's going to $2 billion. Guys, I guarantee you the amount of people sitting on profits down here is disgusting. And at some point, yes, most of them probably took profits here, more entered. Same thing. This is going to probably collapse, go sideways, or at least sit and have a nice range for a little while before it actually ends up beginning a new run. I'd say most of the hype for this has already been, extracted. I don't know how much higher this actually is going to go. But again, I think this narrative is going to be 100% here to stay. But I just think the whole narrative needs to do a full reset, consolidate, and then once that finally hits again, maybe in a few more months, 6 months from now, this becomes another major narrative again. And we're going to see a massive inflow into a lot of these coins really beginning a long-term run. That's kind of how I look at it. Because at the end of the day, they still are meme coins, guys. So just take these with a grain of salt. Obviously, you guys can do what you want, but personally, I'm staying away currently. Like I said, I want to wait to see, this narrative kind of fade out, because that's when I'd want to start getting into it. Because now that I see how hyped this actually is, and the potential that this agent fi narrative has, I'd love to get into stuff now that I know, a lot of good coins, do my research. Once the hype finally dies back down, and then it's going to start its real run. This could go a lot higher than it is now. But I'm not talking about in the short term. Short term, it can do whatever. It's going to go hype. Eventually, it's going to have a nice correction. And then it's probably going to chop sideways for a while. Do something like this. This is going to be the time when you focus and pay attention and then size in if you like the narrative. When it finally stops its downtrend, chill sideways for a while, because then once this starts again, bullish momentum is going to be the marketing in and of itself for the coin, and then it will start another run. So that's my advice to any of you guys. It's like, even for Mudang, if you guys wanted to jump into Mudang when it was hype, in September, now would be a better time to be looking at it if you want to scale in. I'm not saying to literally buy it right now, because I actually would not buy it yet. But I'm giving you guys an example of how quick these narratives go, back and forth. But it's just how these narratives move. Everything goes up for a while, comes down for a long time. Then it's going to sit sideways for a while. But once it sits sideways, Once we see, this downtrend finally get broken, we start to see more consolidation, more sideways action rather than just downside. If it does something like this would be a pretty good range, right? This would be the time to pay attention and think about getting into Mudang if you wanted to get into it because you believe in this, hippo, more than anything else in the space, right? But this is what every single hype narrative goes through. No matter what the hell it is, I'm telling you, within a month, unless Solana is literally at all-time highs within a month, I think GOAT is going to just chop, come down, kind of not really do too much else from where it's at. Could be wrong. It could go to 1 billion. I don't know. But that is just my guess. Watching every single new narrative over the last literal 12 months, most of them pan out like this and end up dying out. And then the strongest narratives end up dying out like this, consolidating, and then having a huge revival and going into new highs from, consolidation, because this is where the community is built, where the diamond-handed people are actually either still here from not selling, or the new people coming in that want to be diamond hands because they believe in it. They saw the hype that it had before. That's how I look at it, and that's how I look at all of these AI coins right now. So outside of that, just a bunch of random stuff I wanted to talk about in the market today. But like I said, I'm still bullish regardless of what Bitcoin is doing. Because like I said many times, I firmly believe we have a lot higher to go. Time frame wise, it's very hard to say. It's hard to give any sort of prediction, but it's looking like this could potentially be, almost one more dip before we go higher. But you never know. Basically I'm just kind of watching this almost as a wedge, if you want to call it. It's basically, that's what this is right now. It's in like a very high time frame wedge, right? I put a range, but that was the wrong. By the way, something like this, as long as it kind of stays in this range, I'm not going to be too worried. Even if it comes down, breaks through, has a few wicks just like that, I'm not going to be worried. As long as it holds up, shows very clear bullish strength, that's what I'm going to be focusing on. And same thing, this is why the momentum, I like to flip the charts a lot. Momentum looks very good, aiming for downside. Maybe worst case, we do come back up, do something like that. We have this area here, touches this liquidity area, has a huge break, comes all the way back down, to get more liquidity that just bought here, stop them out, come back up. It could do anything, right? But like I said, I don't have a bearish bone in me right now, if you put it. I just think everything's still looking good. Again, unless we break that range or something, that wedge, we start to see a lot more bearish high time frame trajectory with the chart, then I'd start to really question where we're going and where we're headed. But I'm still bullish for now. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.